Today on Forbes, Pete Hegseth hates DEI. His deputy put tens of millions into it. Embattled Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth assumed his role with a clear mission in mind. 4 days after taking office, he said on Fox News, quote, "DEI is going to be ripped out root and branch." His deputy secretary, billionaire investor Steve Feinberg, has a different perspective, having spent nearly $40 million on scholarship programs for Black students in recent years, making diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives the largest recipients of grants from his foundation. Feinberg's commitment to the cause began in 2020, the year George Floyd's murder sparked a national outcry. The biggest beneficiary appears to be Tuskegee University, which received a $5 million grant from Feinberg's foundation that year, one of the largest gifts ever for the historically Black school. A press release issued at the time said the money would go towards scholarships for needy students. The famously private Feinberg did not provide any quotes for the announcement, but his foundation issued a statement with no name attached to it. It said, quote, "We're very pleased to honor our founder's philanthropic vision with a grant that has real potential to advance racial equity in post-secondary education." Money continued to pour in from Feinberg's foundation over the ensuing years, eventually reaching about $20 million. The investor also bankrolled a similar effort through the Thurgood Marshall College Fund, to which he gave another $5 million in 2020. That organization then provided $8,500 a year to about 60 students who had to be Black or of African descent to qualify. Another organization that received big money from Feinberg, the Congressional Black Caucus Foundation, a nonprofit connected to the all-Democrat group on Capitol Hill. The Black Caucus Foundation helps with the Steve Feinberg multi-year scholarship program, which provides African American and Black undergrads with $10,000 a year for up to 4 years. Feinberg has now contributed at least $13 million to the group. Asked about all of this and how it jibed with Secretary Hegseth's comments, the spokesperson for Feinberg issued a carefully worded statement that tried to make it seem like the Defense Department leaders are on the same page about DEI matters, without actually saying that explicitly. The spokesperson, Eric Pahan, said in a statement, quote, "Deputy Secretary Feinberg is fully aligned with Secretary Hegseth's priorities. His many charitable donations have gone to organizations that prioritize merit and performance to build a stronger America, and today he is working with Secretary Hegseth to advance those same values for a stronger military." Feinberg grew up in a modest home in Spring Valley, New York, then worked on Wall Street, where he eventually opened his own firm, Cerberus Capital Management. It invested in Chrysler, Fila, and debt tied to Donald Trump's tower in Chicago, ultimately growing to manage about $70 billion in assets. Overseeing so much money for others provided Feinberg with plenty of his own, an estimated $5 billion. At the end of 2015, he dumped $130 million into a private foundation. He initially gave to the sorts of causes that lots of billionaires support: a hospital near his home, and the university he attended, Princeton. The world changed in 2020 with the COVID-19 pandemic and protests in response to Floyd's murder, and Feinberg's philanthropic strategy adapted with it. Like many corporate leaders, Feinberg decided to do something. For help, he turned to Greg Nixon, a Black executive at Cerberus, with a personal story that underscored the promise of historically Black universities. After graduating from Tuskegee, Nixon joined the U.S. Air Force, became an intellectual property attorney inside the government, and moved into the private sector. He ultimately became the head of strategic investments at Cerberus. With Nixon at his side, Feinberg funneled tens of millions of dollars to DEI initiatives. Feinberg's Wall Street firm, meanwhile, launched internal committees to support women and promote inclusion. On a panel hosted by one of the firm's legal partners, Nixon explained, quote, "Cerberus is fully committed to DEI." For full coverage, check out Dan Alexander's piece on Forbes.com. This is Kieran Meadows from Forbes. Thanks for tuning in.